Welcome back to Darren 67 to 72. I'm Darren. These are 67s to 72s. Anyway, this week I'll show you what's going on. Busy week for me. A little less on the C10. Well, this particular 68 C10. But we're going to work on this, get the back tidied up today. I'll show you what we're finishing up. Then I still haven't worked on this bumper right here. All week I haven't had a chance to do anything. It's ready for paint. I just haven't bothered. And that goes on the 72 C10, well, it's a C20 Avalon Green. But right now, 1968 C10, here we go. Let's start on this side, and then let's cover the boring part quick. This is what I'm doing. Got to pay the bills, folks, 2007 Chevy Silverado. Yep, it needs rockers, don't they all? Even though they fixed the rocker problem, they didn't fix the rocker problem. What I mean by that is, in 07, excuse the bouncing, in 07, they did away with the rockers. What I mean by that is they did away with exposed rockers. When you close the door goes all the way down as far as your sight vision is. Sight vision? You know what I mean. You can't see the rockers. That didn't fix the rocker problem because the rockers still rot out. They get holes in the bottom of them down in here, and then the dirt comes underneath it just like any vehicle. And this has got nothing to do with Michigan winters. The dirt comes up and goes inside that rocker and packs this full. I don't know if you can see the dirt back here. There is a lot. And the guy washed this before he brought it here. And I bet there's a coffee can of dirt that was packed in the back of this cab corner. It just kept packing more. So we have the body mount here. We have a good inner rocker to deal with. I just cut off the outer. So I got to weld this all up. I glue these seams, top and bottom, and weld the edges. You know that. I got to do cab corners both sides. I'm half done. We're getting there. But that's this truck. That's not what we're here for. But I wanted to show you how I'm, making a little side money. Got to do that too. The C10s is, you make money, but if not for a while, not right away. Okay, so let's get to what you came here for. 68 C10-ish. Well, we lowered it, so it's more like 800-pound payload rather than half ton. We call it a C7 instead of a 10. I'm just joking around. Finishing some things up. I'm gonna get you. You know what? I'm gonna get you a little closer right now. Put my glasses on. Give you guys some detailed stuff to look at. I'm gonna take you right off tripod. Bear with me. We're gonna show you what's going on this week. I've got to get this entire back, cleaned up. Make sure there's nothing that isn't ready for the box. As soon as I get that black truck done, I'll get this box in here. I've been waiting on that. So this week, get you a little closer. We got these brakes done. We've talked about the brakes. Got these all tidied up and everything's tight here. The pads are in, the discs are on, everything's good with that. I looped this line around to where it's out of the way. And the most important part is this bracket here. Got it welded to the axle. I've got the stainless steel line attached. The clips are in. This is clocked right. See if I can get my hand in there without. This hose is not gonna be in the way of anything. It's wrapped around nicely. There's no wear areas. Gas tank in. We got the wax ring put on here. Axle's all set. Rear end's done. Over here, though, I have to weld this. I've been monkeying around. I ain't welded it. I'll do that today. I finally got that rod bent around the exhaust, but it needs welded on good so it won't fall. I'll do that today. This is going to get done today. I mean, when I say done, the back end of this is going to be all set to where I can just put the box on. Of course, the box is going to have to be disassembled, reassembled, tore apart, back together. We'll run you around the other side. Yeah, we'll run you around the other side. You got to do your shop tour, right? Get you around the other side. Kind of the same thing, but, different. Get you in a position here where you can see. I do want to show you every vehicle has its own little, I don't know, quirks, things that don't work out just the way you'd want them to. And that's the part we're dealing with here. I don't know how well you can see. Maybe I'll get you in closer. We have really long lines, these flexibles. And this particular bracket to meet the lines had to go back in this area. We couldn't do it on the axle like on the other side because we had way too much line. It wasn't convenient. Trying to make it all flow nicely. So without getting into too much detail, because it don't look pretty, but it's functional, it's safe, it's where it needs to be. Same thing, we got the flexible line tucked in. It can't be flopped around and hit anything else down here. We mounted the bracket to the back of the trailing arm is where it's welded. It's stationary. What I mean is anytime it moves, the whole axle moves, this part moves. There's no flexing on any of these parts. That's the most important part with this. The stainless steel line that came with the kit, if I cut it and try and double flare it, it's stainless. So they tend to get brittle and you'll get cracks. Might have to do it a couple times to get it right. It's done at a factory. I don't know if they heat them first or what they do, or just the machine crimps it all at once. I don't understand. I don't know. So versus me making my own splice where I'm not a mechanic, right? I just decided to use their fitting, use their flared end, and just took the stainless steel line and looped it around the axle as well. Yes, it's a little extra. Somebody might wonder why you did it someday, but that's not what's most important to us. What's important to us is we have a safe, good running, driving vehicle, and that's what I've accomplished. So the stainless steel line comes up here from the axle and it loops underneath. Now, underneath is sometimes worrisome to people. Underneath is also tucked in between the axle and the trailing arm, and it has the wire coating on it. The wrapped looks like a big spring. So if it does touch top or bottom, it's not wearing on the brake line. So although this has a little bit of a funny routing, it was a good way to put it in clean. It's where nothing's going to grab it or hook it. So that's done. Brakes all tightened up on this side. So the next part I want to cover, again, we're tidying this rear end up. Today is the last we're going to mess around with getting the rear end prepared. I do have to put differential fluid in it, but I got to double check with that manufacturer, so I won't do that on video. You know how to put oil in a rear end. If you don't, there's videos for that. Okay. The last thing I want to do before we cover this, in case we have to make adjustments, didn't mention this, I did tighten up all the shocks. There's plenty of clearance everywhere, so that worked out great. What I want to do now is measure the rear end. Now, this doesn't have to be centered exactly, but I'd like it close. And how I do that, is you pick a place on the frame that you can measure easily from. So I come up here to a flat spot right on this corner, so I do the same thing on the other side, and I come up with, I'm looking at 10, and I'm going to say 10 inches to the inside of this rib on the disc. Now, the discs are mounted firmly against the ends of the axles. So that's going to give us a good square end angle of where we're going to measure from. So what did I say? Right here, we're looking at 10 inches to the inside. So I'm going to run around to the other side. Well, you can kind of see it from here and see what we have over there. And I'm coming right back. So 10 inches to that brake rotor. On this side, measuring from the same corner to the brake rotor, we're at 9 and gee whiz, like 15/16. Very close. But because I put in the C-notch kit and it might be just slightly forward or rear on each side, I'm going to double check against the actual frame that GM built. So the second measurement, I like to do two anyway. It's flat against the frame. I'm coming around there in a second. And I measured 12 1/4 to that same flange, or brake rotor, we'll call it. 12 1/4. So now I'll come over here and show you guys how I measured that off of the flat part of this frame, which should be solid and original. We put tape measure there, and we come up with 12 and maybe 1/8. Yeah, that's probably where our 16th is at, 12 1/16. So we might be a 16th of an inch off. And I have it completely hanging, the differential. As it comes up, we're going to come to the right, that 16th of an inch, I'm pretty sure, because we have a pendulum effect. I won't bore you on this too much, but it's a rod this way, and it's shorter from point A to point B if it's on an angle. Again, I'll exaggerate. A to B. You see it's shorter than it is when you go flat. Well, the way this trailing arm is designed, or excuse me, pitman arm is designed, is when you're driving it, it's supposed to be just off center. And as you hit bumps, it'll go up and down through this range. So the length is almost full length all the time. It gets a little longer at full horizontal, and then again a little shorter when it goes up. And that's your travel range. That 16th of an inch of movement in the rear end, side to side, is not going to cause any issues. But you want it centered, and we're darn close. So they can do the rest of that when we get the alignment done. That's together. The brakes are all in. The lines are all hooked up. We're good. Shocks are good. Exhaust, we got one weld to do. What else we got back here? Yeah, we got our wax done. Boy, I think we're almost there. The brackets are on. We can weld this up real quick. Jump in there. I want to get this done. I have talked about doing this I don't know how many times. And have I done it? No, I'm still talking about it. So right down in here, I'm going to weld this rod to the exhaust. I got everything ready. Why not just do it real quick? I was getting ready to do it. I wanted to take my hat off. I was getting ready to do it before I turned the camera on. So I'll put you guys down right here. So you won't hear me very well, but I'm just doing a little welding anyway. You can full weld this on here if you want. Come on, it's not that important. We just want to get a good couple of welds on. Maybe 1 inch long. Am I in your way? I bet I am. I'm going to go around. Hang on. Said everything ready. No, I didn't have the wire here though. A little more wire speed. Here we go. Get the other end here if I can weasel my way around. Now maybe you can see. I don't know. I can't see either. It's getting pretty hot. Think that'll hold? I think it'll hold. But you know me, I always got to weld a little more. What do you think? Back on this side, one more pass. Try to weld upside down. My glasses are falling off. You know. I'm pretty confident that's going to hold. You could full weld it all the way, but that's ridiculous. Many times I'll be ridiculous, but not on this one. All right, that hook goes completely underneath that exhaust. So I welded one side. It's like a J hook, so it's not going anywhere. Rock solid. So that's pretty much it. We do a little cleanup, pick up some tools, look things over to make sure we got everything. We got some plans back here coming up. Oh, I got to do that wiring over there. Again, we're going to tidy up everything today. Let me get these wires put in. Wrapping things up. I know you guys are going to really enjoy it when we get to the body panels. Putting those together, it's just a little more fun to watch. But all this you can't see. All this stuff's got to be done. We got full wire loom here. I just want to tuck it up in there. Zip tie it to the hose is fine. I got a couple of hoses. Oh, that's right. Hose forward, hose back for fuel lines, I should say. I'm just going to tidy these up, get them out of the way. I don't want to be on my back. I keep telling you guys that. upside down. Not really any dirt fall in your eyes, but it seems like I always get dirt or rust. So in my eyes, it's been years. It used to happen to me all the time. Must be I'm a little more careful. I do wear glasses a lot more than I used to. That does help. We're just using zip ties. I put them about every foot, maybe a little closer because, well, they're cheap. If it was expensive, I might, hold back on them a little bit, but they're very inexpensive. So get those in there, out of the way. One more and we'll be past this to the cab area. Now, I will have to go under there because, well, if you don't have the cab on, you can't do a whole lot of wiring. So that kind of held me up on the front some. What's holding me up now? I don't know. P-clamp. Good idea anyway. Well, those are up good. Trip those. We're gonna be ready. I'm kind of excited to be ready. I'm ready to switch up and use the word ready a lot today. Switch up and do some body stuff. Yeah, there's that too if you care. I always care. Thanks for subscribing. I have a couple of new subscribers I want to thank. Bill, thank you. See you now. I don't know who that is, but thank you for subscribing. And Richard, thank you guys. And all my current subscribers. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Now, I'm not going to wipe this down, but this dust all needs blown off. We'll wipe her down real good. Let's see what else we got. We'll make progress today. I think that's pretty much it. Listen to me. Pretty much it back here. Got everything. I want to do one more look over, but I think that's it. Wires are tied up. Vent for the, don't need that. Excuse me. Welder terminal on there. Got that off. Line's done. No brake fluid in it yet. I made a mistake. Might as well tell you that. This is ready for the box. And then we can start cutting the support in the box to make room for this oversized fuel tank. We'll cover that in depth, but we don't have to worry about getting on here for all this stuff anymore. I ordered parts. I got my order already. Got every part I was looking for. I was kind of excited about that. I thought, wow, I'm actually coming across things I want. Sometimes I have a hard time finding them. So I got my order already, and I don't know what happened. Maybe I was thinking I got to find something else. I don't know, but I was thinking, well, how come my parts didn't come in? I've been waiting on them. So I went back to check my order. Yeah, I never hit order. So those will all be here next week. But this came in, and it's pretty cool. This is coming up soon, or I wouldn't have ordered it. What do we have here? Brand new. I can't get the foam off. Brand new radiator, all aluminum. It's a 3-core. Now, GM originally, even on the 350s, only used a 2-core. I ordered a 3-core because you get to the 4-core and sometimes it doesn't want to fit under the hold downs. You're getting too close to the motor. It's unnecessary because we have dual fans on this, as you can see. All aluminum. Even the dual fans have an aluminum cover. I don't know how it attaches. No plastic involved. It does bolt up tight, and it actually uses bolts, not clips. It's a pretty decent radiator. I was surprised. Once we get it in, I'll cover where I bought it, whose it is, and how great it is. Or if it's junk like everything else. But that's ready. One more thing off the list, or one more thing that's on the list. I don't know. Excuse me. Take care of that stuff later. I ordered brake. I'm going to cover this in detail, but I want to tease you a little bit with this. Conversion, and more conversion. I did order and receive a brake booster. I think I ordered a 72. A lot of them are the same. What we have here is a 68. I have pliers in my pocket, cutters. This is a 68 You can see it. Manual brakes. I don't think 68 had power brakes. I know that because I don't know everything about everything. I know they all came with four-wheel drums, and we've converted to four-wheel disc. Not going to be an issue. We'll talk about that when the time comes. But I want to save some of you guys from doing what I did, and I don't think it's a big deal. I ordered the brake booster, the full size, because I didn't really like the little ones. You know, there's not enough power, right? You get more power from a bigger brake booster. Well, that used to be true. Times do change. But I got the big one, and it was pretty close to the motor. I don't think it would have been a problem, but it was close. The problem was converting one of these trucks from manual brakes to power brakes. It's a whole thing if you want to do it and look original. You know, it's got an LS in it. It's not going to look original. That's not our goal. And I read up on a smaller, what they call universal brake boosters. They're, I don't know, maybe 6 inches instead of 10, quite a bit smaller. And I didn't like them because I want good, solid power brakes. Well, now they put dual diaphragms in the smaller ones. So I am to understand that you get the same amount of braking power in a smaller container. Plus, somebody, we'll talk later on names. I'm not shy, you know that. One of the companies offered a kit. When I say kit, it's the brake booster, the master cylinder. I don't think it came with a balancing block. That's okay. We have one, or proportioning valve, what do you want to call it? I do have one on the shelf for this. It comes with the bracketry necessary to bolt to the firewall. And supposedly it comes with the new clevis and rod. I don't know if it's an adjustable rod. One person said it was, one person said it wasn't. So we'll all learn that together. But it says it bolts right on. How many times have we heard that? But supposedly you bolt it to the firewall, put the rods in, and it works perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. So I clicked the button, send her to me. I want to see this simple, easy conversion. And when it comes, I'll show it to you. Meanwhile, I returned the brake booster that came off of these trucks, like the original style. They come with basically bolts for the bracket, and then on the firewall, there's bolts sticking out rather than nuts. So when I get that kit, I'll show it to you. Again, I'm excited to just put 4 bolts in and have brakes. I don't think that's going to happen. But that's coming up. I'm planning on that next week as well, because I'm excited to get these brakes all tidied up. And we could actually bleed them. That'd be some progress to have working brakes in the truck we've been working on for a year now. A lot of detail. Things go slow. But these are details that you don't find on YouTube every day. People just slap a truck together quick. I like to show you all the details, so when you're working on your vehicle, you can say, hey, I've seen that before. Darren did that once. Not that you're going to do what Darren did. Not that you're going to be all original like the C20. But at least if you've seen what Darren did, like on these brakes, maybe you don't like the lines stuck right in behind the rotor like I've got them. Maybe you would like these flexible lines to come up in here somewhere. I don't really know where. This is the best I thought, but you might come up with something better with the coil around. Maybe you got shorter lines. You can put your bracket somewhere else that's more convenient. I don't really know, but I just want to show you what I did. You're somewhat familiar with these parts when you head at your project. That's it this week. Short video. Didn't cover a million things, but they're all important things, just like you guys are important. So thanks for coming. Nice to see you. Eddie, I hope you're seeing what you were looking for. And everybody else. I don't know if I've mentioned this in a while, but on the channel, every week I try to do a few things. Sorry about the bouncing. I try to, show you the subscribe button because it's kind of clever, rather than you hearing me say, like and subscribe all the time. I think it's a waste of time. And then there's other things like, well, right there. In every video, minus 1 or 2, maybe 3, there's a small bottle of Loctite. Generally orange Loctite. No guarantees, but there's Loctite in most every video. Now, last week I had the Loctite up on the mirror of this black truck, and I didn't really talk about the black truck. And I don't know if I posted that video. These are getting out of order, so just stay with me. and it didn't show up on camera. So that particular video didn't have one. But I tried every video. It's kind of a Where's Waldo thing. So look for it. Enjoy looking for it. It's kind of a game. Got to play a few games while you're out here in the shop having fun. So get out in the garage, do something on your project. Drop me a note real quick. A little quick comment never hurt. Tell me what you're up to. Tell me what you own. Tell me what you want me to work on. What part you would like to see in more detail. Because even though I'm a detail guy, I want to go quick, move through all these things and not bore you with details you don't want to see. Thanks for coming. We're going to see you guys next week. Right now, I got to go.